You learn a Japanese word, and a few days later it is gone. Yesterday tabaru felt solid, the next morning it draws a blank. The problem is rarely your memory, it is the schedule you review on. Today, let us look at spaced repetition, reviewing a word, just before you forget it. Anything you memorize once, fades over time. The forgetting curve, described by the psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, shows that without review, recall drops sharply within days. A word slipping away is simply what memory does. The useful part is not the shape of the curve, but what you do about it. Catch a word right before it fades, review it once more, and the curve flattens. So the real question is not how many words you saw, but when you see them again. Spaced repetition stretches the gap between reviews as a word gets easier. A brand new word comes back quickly, a word you know well shows up rarely. Take one word, IKU. Each successful recall earns a longer gap, so your daily pile stays small. By hand, you might space the reviews like this. Once on the day you learn it, again the next day, 3 days later, then a week later. But once your deck grows into the hundreds, tracking each date by hand becomes impossible. One important point. You should not stretch every word by the same amount. An easy word can have its gap grow quickly, while a word that keeps tripping you up needs to come back sooner. That is where the time savings live. Now the flashcard. You see the front, try to produce the answer, then flip to check. Studying and testing happen in one motion. For Japanese, keep the kanji and its reading together on the front. Here are 5 basic JLPT 5 verbs. A common mistake is to learn the kanji, but skip the reading. Memorize tabaru as to eat, without its reading, and you can recognize it on the page, but miss it when you hear it. So pull up the meaning and the reading together, out loud, before you flip the card. Skimming a card, and actually retrieving the answer, leave very different marks on memory. Active recall, where you pull the meaning out of your own head, sticks far better than rereading. You have to step from recognizing a word to producing it. The simplest way to force recall is a quiz. A 4-choice question on the meaning checks whether a word you flipped through is genuinely yours. Miss one, see the answer and example right away, and make a note to revisit that word. There is a place to try this loop right away. The PP Words free web demo lets you flip a card, then mark how each one felt, with hard, good, or easy, and check yourself with a 4-choice quiz. You can flip the direction from kanji to Japanese, or Japanese to your language, with no install and no sign up. A few common habits feel productive but work against you. Cramming a long list in one sitting is mostly gone by the next day. Rereading builds a false sense of knowing, and skipping the reading leaves you unable to hear the word. Spotting these early saves weeks of frustration. Knowing the method is not enough if you skip it on busy days. A light daily load and a focused setting carry the habit. Start with 10 to 20 new words a day, handle new words and reviews together, and keep each session short. Order changes the result too. Meet new words while your head is fresh, and attach reviews after them. And if your reviews have piled up for a few days, do not start over from the top. Pick only the words that stall you, and skim them fast. Vocabulary in particular falls apart when sessions drag on. To study in tight, focused stretches, a tool that splits your time into blocks helps a lot. Like the PP Focus Pomodoro timer, study for 25 minutes, take a short break, and keep your attention from drifting. Start with the free web demo to feel whether the flashcard and quiz flow fits you. It runs right in your browser, with no install and no sign up. And if the method clicks, moving to the mobile app is a natural next step for more words and more review. One thing to remember today. Memorizing words is not a fight about how many you saw, but about when you see them again. Once more, just before you forget, starting with today's words.